Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Chrono Cross. Last time, we showed off what happens on the Do Not Save Kid path as we went through Mount Pyre. Seems that even if we decide not to save Kid, somehow she survives anyway, at least until she doesn't. Now, if you decide not to save her, it allows you to recruit Guile. It allows you to recruit Glenn, Matcha, and... Wait a minute, I said there was 3 unique characters per path. Anyway, if you decide not to save her, do the events on the pirate ship, and then decide, well, she can't be dead yet. Let's go check on Kid over in Gulda. See what's happening to her now. Wait, if we come here, she's supposed to be alive though. We already saw it. She lives. I don't mind that song being used there because it's only for a short amount of time and it's for a great fake out. If you haven't already been all the way up to the end of Mount Pyre and you don't know that she's going to survive, it's a great fake out. And I think it's more appreciable after the fact than it is if you just come in here, oh God, she's dead, and then, oh, there she is. I just think it is more impactful this way because you can appreciate it a little more. Anyway, it's been a while. What's with the astonished looks on your face? I complained about the stupid gown and they hid your clothes to stop you from trying to escape. No choice but to take a walk around the village looking like this. Yes. Leko poison, huh? Yeah, how did you neutralize the poison? She has no idea. She was probably half out of it the whole time, so that would make sense. Doc's back this afternoon, so we'll talk to him. Figure all things out. Now, I've already talked about music box themes and how I find that they're a great ability to draw on certain emotions from the player. This time, I'll talk about the fact that this is a leitmotif on a theme that we're not going to hear kind of the main version of that theme for a very long time. But just know that this will be a reference to that. An act of fate, huh? Now, if you remember back to Chrono Trigger, when we were in the Kingdom of Zeal, we spoke to, I believe, a Piezo doll that was sitting in a bed in the top right of one of the buildings in Zeal. It might have been, it wasn't the kingdom or the castle of Zeal itself, so it was either Enhasa or, what's the other one? Kajar. It's one of those two. I don't remember. I think it was the second one. Yeah, I think it's the second one. I can't remember. I think that one's Kajar. Anyway, enough of that. But yeah, we spoke to that one and they asked us, what our thought was on fate and allowed us to give the different answers. Don't believe in fate, do believe in fates. Here, people are talking about it as though most people seem to believe in it. From all the stuff we heard out of Lynx, the line here from Doc, a few others have said things about fate along the way. After you left the village, a young man came to visit me upon hearing the patient's condition. Brought a certain item with him. Happened to have a vial of Hydra humor. Now, last time I made the reference back to the Harbingers of Fate in Final Fantasy VII Remake, making the whole, the fate of the characters thing kind of weird. It's like, oh, we got to make sure that they survive because they survived in the original kind of deal. Well, it's also kind of weird here. It very much falls into absolutely perfect, shape in order to make sure that kids survived. Someone happened to have this thing that doesn't exist anymore and just happens to walk through the town and happens to hear that someone is sick with a disease that this will cure. It's a lot of happenstance. Who was that guy? Do you know his name? This information is not... Well, actually, I think it is directly revealed. I can't remember if it's in a side quest or if it's in one of the endings. I think it's one of the endings. Told me that he came from the mainland. Yeah. When I find him, I'll... Oh? Not sure what she was starting to get at there before she changed her mind, but okay. You proved useless as a doctor. Offer my apologies. Yeah. Where's all the surfer lingo? Yeah, you made the antidote out of the Hydra humor. Fair enough. Yeah, you kind of, saved her life. Heap of trouble, huh? She's not good at it, but she got it out. Thanks. There's the surfer lingo. Well, we've got things to take care of. And now that Kid's better, Surge's got a lot of problems that need solving, and, well, she plans on helping. Allow me to join your party. I'd like to broaden my horizons as a doctor. Having a doctor with us would be a great help. Fair enough. Doc, join your party, dude. And yes, you get access to your third of 3 characters on the Do Not Save Kid path when you return to pick up Kid. And on top of getting access to Doc, Kid's raring and ready to go. We need the dragon tier to activate the fort. That blue orb that was on top of Viper's desk, the one that we saw in the previous episode at the end, the one that shattered, that was the dragon tier. Don't think Korsha's going to be all that happy when he finds out that I kind of was there and couldn't get his dragon tier back for his village. And it's kind of broken. Now, I believe if you say this, it cuts to a scene. So she thinks it's the dragon tier. the general has the dragon tattoo, not the dragon has the general tier. No, that doesn't make sense. Can't sit back and let it happen. Yep. Sealed with the powers of the Dragonians. General is trying to stop the poor military with an impenetrable fortress. That's not going to stop much. It's going to protect you, though. It's turtling up. Well, we must head to Mount Pyre and Fort Dragonia. The place is a fiery hell. Come to think of it, the captain said we should obtain the divine protection of the water dragon. Water has dried up due to abnormal weather. Chances of the water dragon being on the island are slim. Yeah, we already did that. Bigger by the minute. Oh? You hold the key to our problems. Heard the story from the village shaman, right? Story about the land of Genesis. The other world. The world where Surge came from. The situation in each world is different. Things missing in one world can be found in the other. It's true, we still have a chance. It worked with the Hydra humor. How are we going to go to the other world? My amulet. The Astral amulet. It's the other key to solving our problems. Lots of power to cross dimensions. Something about the powers of hope and will. According to the shaman, this amulet has that sort of power. You might have remembered way back when we talked to the shaman the first time that she had mentioned something about sensing power in the amulet. Actually, did she say that or not? I can't remember if she said that or not, but I think that would happen if you happened to be carrying it at the time that you talked to her. So it might have been a variant that she would have said something about it on the save kit path where we actually had it. I can't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure I have a vague recollection of someone talking about it ahead of time. And since Kit had gone for a walk in the village, I'm guessing that she ran into the shaman and heard about it there. Maybe this time I ought to listen. The amulet alone isn't enough. We need the other key, the connection between this world and the other. One of my favorite parts about doing the Do Not Save Kid path is this scene, because this scene adds a lot of clarity that you don't get anywhere else. It sets the stage for the idea that things in one world will be different in another, and flat out states it instead of going, oh yeah, we can go and try and find the Hydra humor and then not mention anything else about it being all that different from world to world other than what we've seen. So we don't generally think that, oh, we're just going to go to the other world and get anything that we need that's not in this world. Here, they just clarify things a whole lot, make it a lot easier to understand, especially for kids playing the game like me and many other people were the first time we played it. Missing piece of the puzzle. The rest is up to you. Get divine protection. I don't know about you, but probably don't need dragon's protection. The advantage of getting dragon protection is this path does not have Razzly. When you go to the island, you finish up the events there, and as you're leaving, there is an additional scene that plays out. As long as you've gotten Kid back, which in order to go there, you have no choice but to have Kid. The scene can be done on either path. You just need to not have Rasley, because I guess that scene plays between her and her sister instead of the additional scene with Kid. Scene with Kid is way better because it builds up a character that actually gets character development. Rasley doesn't get much. Gets more than some, more than Guile. But yeah. Anyway, we gotta go back to where it all began. Don't lose it on you. But yeah, now that we've got Kid back, we receive the Astral Amulet, and we can now travel between worlds again. How'd she do for levels here? Not too bad. Can't remember if I need to steal when I go there. Basically, what's going to happen now, I'll leave you in because you're already equipped for now. I'll think about what my party will be later. Most of what we're going to be doing now is going to be done off screen. In between cuts, which will be probably recorded days apart. But I will be going back to Water Dragon Isle now that I have this. Actually, I might show part of that whole sequence because there was one question I had in my notes that I wanted to address that I was never sure about. We can pick up Recover Alls here if we haven't already done there. Do those. I already got the Gravitones. Meteor Showers. Yeah, you can pick up all the things now on this path, and that's why it was a different part of my notes that had the return to Guldov to get the Recover Alls and all that, because I had it in my notes of doing it now when we were already here in the first place. But yeah, now that we have access to going to Homeworld, I'm gonna go and double check real quick and see if we're allowed to go straight there or not. But I think we might have to finish all the events in Hydra Marshes in Homeworld as well. So I'll see you over there in a minute. Okay, well, we have slightly different dialogue here, I guess. But I think the majority of the scene plays out the same way. Yeah, just different people having slightly different things to say about it. And then it plays out exactly the same every time here. We'll just skip through that cutscene, throw on fast forward. Yep. Okay. So yeah, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save. So I'm going to, let's go over this one more time since we have the opportunity here. I'm going to have a save file before choosing a guide to Viper Manor, one with Pierre, one before going to Mount Pyre with Nikki and Rasley in the party, one after getting control of your characters after making the decision not to save Kid. And this one is right before going to Mount Pyre. This one is right at the end of Mount Pyre. You don't need this for anything in particular. And this one is... I don't need this one for anything. I can't remember off the top. I think I need all of them, so I'm just going to save here. Whatever. And let's go see if we can go directly over to Water Dragon Isle here. Oh, so they're willing to take me right here. Don't have to go to Hydra Marshes in Homeworld. But we can go pick up all of the items that are there. I'll be doing it all off screen. We now have access to Kid, so we can steal arrow blasters from the wherever there, or the some of the enemies in Hydra Marshes Another World. But here in Homeworld, we can fight the Quaffids and get a rare arrow blaster drop. And, well, there's some stuff in here that I'll probably show off. Alright, the Bibas are still here. You still have to fight your way through them, just like you did before. I figured I'd show that they're still here, but they're no more powerful than they were before, so they fall down real fast now. So yeah, don't worry too much about any of the time you spend here. None of the enemies here are going to be particularly challenging. Okay, you still have the little mini boss fight against the whatever he was, the big giant centipede thing that we fought. I can't remember what it's called. What's it called? It is called the Wingipede. That's right. And you still land on Pentapus. That looked ridiculous. Sadly, even though the Recover All's here, an empty cage is used to keep something captive. We don't show up in time. Rasley doesn't make it, presumably. And you are not required to fight the Pentapus either. Another thing that's a little different is there's a few less things around here, isn't there? These guys were always here. No arrow blasters from them, but I'll be able to steal them before a little bit later when I go back to Another World. You'll notice that a bunch of dwarves are no longer here. Some medicine. I should have talked to the guy at the start. He probably would have told me something, but we can do that later. Hunt down Hydras too. Unfortunately, there's not a single one left in the forest. We got the last one. You can sell it for a fortune. And yeah, if we decide not to hunt down the Hydra, it's hunted down anyway. Now, presumably on this path, it's even worse because they're hunting down the body of the Hydra to use. In the other one, we let it stay here, and at least there was a chance that her offspring would survive. Here, I don't know if that's the case. Anyway, as you can see, the dwarves aren't here. The one other thing that's interesting is you remember there was an item in here before. It's another one of those chests that doesn't disappear, but we fought a dwarf in here before. It is now empty. We can no longer get that treasure on this path because by the time we got here, the dwarves had already been here and they're now gone. Presumably, whoever was in there managed to scare them off, and yeah. Grab that. Very low level element that I don't really need, but sure, why not? And let's talk to you here and see what you have to say. After we defeated the Hydra, the forest dwellers kept murmuring, "The forest will die." And get out of my head. So yeah, here we see that even though we didn't, someone scared off dwarves. And now everything else about what happens on Water Dragon Isle is the same up until we finish the events there. So I'm going to go pick up the Ice Breath and the Frog Prince and all that. None of the boss fights, quote-unquote, like the centipede guy there, yeah, Wingipede, He never gave a star level before, and he doesn't give one now, so there's no way of doubling up or getting extra star levels or anything like that. The option of doing the events at Water Dragon Isle or not doing the events at Water Dragon Isle, that's your only choice, and either way you end up with the same amount of star levels regardless. There is only one fight in the game that, if missed, is a permanently missable star level. And I will be absolutely certain to mention that once we get there. But yeah, for the rest of this area, I'm just going to cut it out until we're on our way back, where we will get an additional cutscene. And we're back. Sadly, we're back at a point where I really didn't want to show the scene all over again. But without Rasley in the party, or recruited at all, this scene plays out a little bit different. Driven off once again. Why were we dealt such a hand? Humans really the greatest species on the planet? Answer? No. Heretics of evolution, destroyers of the planet. And without the knowledge of what happens to the Hydra, and without Rasley here, things don't play out the same way. I was going to her. I'm not heartless. Come on. Now, ideally, I would have brought Rasley if I'd known how everything was going to play out with the cutscene and all that. I would have brought Rasley. I would have taken too long, and I would have shown the scene where Rosetta doesn't make it. Sadly, I don't get to demonstrate that. Everything that I'm going to miss out on showing has to do with Rasley. Rasley is a pain in the ass as far as pathing and organizing how you're going to run through the game. They really want you to play the game through the game multiple times. They've made a way around it, but they've not made it easy. Anyway, I will show you the events on the way out. Okay, and we've finished up the sequence with the water dragon there. This time, instead of having Rasley show up, Kid shows up. So I'm going to show this scene. I didn't double check. Like with the last scene, I beat the boss, started skimming through the dialogue, realized, oh crap, I got to show this off, and had to reload. This time, I'm just going to go and wing with it and hope that the rest of the scene plays out differently. Because I do not remember. The problem with a lot of the differences to a lot of the scenes is you have to play a long time in order to get the variations on those scenes. So by the time you get from one point to the next, you've forgotten what they said the first time. So if it's different, great, I've shown that it's different. If not, what can you do? Now, the other fairies seem to hate us this time. And this seems to affect Kid. You'll notice that she stood back there. I didn't have to bring her in my active party, but I did have to have her recruited, which you would have to even get here anyway, because you need the Astral Amulet. Please leave. Kid passes out. Familiar looking picture. They've hidden an entire cutscene in an optional sequence. I'd say I hate you for that, but the scene is, well, too good to complain about. you notice, Surge is over there in the corner on the left. It's just hidden in the darkness. And a bad dream. Seeing the fairy's eyes filled with tears over losing her friends must have triggered memories of my own past. I was an orphan. I was abandoned when I was a baby. There was someone who took me in, raised me as if I were her own little sister. I'm alive here today, thanks to her. There were a lot of others like me at Sis's place. I was always making strange stuff. We didn't have money. We were happy. Until that Lynx bastard came and shattered our happiness to pieces. Lynx raided our home, burned it down, and kidnapped Sis. She never came back. Since then, I've wandered the world and experienced so much pain just to get by. There's no one there to help me. Always alone. Ask me, the idea of a guardian angel watching over us all the time. A load of rubbish. In this world, tender-handed always get the last laugh. The only ones who don't think anything of hurting others end up getting what they want. The ones who kill, the ones who devour, they're the ones who survive. The only rule of this world. Great species of mankind. A wonderful world filled with love and happiness. Don't me. That's how it is. It's fine with me. As long as I'm alive, there ain't no going back. I'll abide by this world's rules. Do what I gotta do, despite the rotten hand of cards I've been dealt. I'll make sure that bloody bastard pays for what he's done. No matter what it takes. That song is called The Girl Who Stole the Stars, or in some translations, The Star-Stealing Girl. That song has brought me to tears or almost tears, probably more than any song in any video game. You can kind of hear it in my voice at different points. I had a feeling I was going to have some difficulty with some of the scenes. That song, for whatever reason, hits on another level for me. And no matter what I do, I usually don't get through listening to it without at least choking up a little bit. This time we spent the night here. Boatman is gone. Well, apparently we've been abandoned. Or not. I had to return before it got dark. Since they didn't come before it got dark, fair enough. guys look a little too gloomy. Let's head back to the village. We've taken care of everything that we need to. We don't get a wispy cape, but it's not all that good anyway. And yeah, they're basically the girl who stole the stars. That's unofficially that's Kid's theme. And there's a few other times that it plays where it's gonna hit me again. Not much I can do about it. Anyway, with that being said, try and get a little more energy into things before we call it a day here. When I made the previous episode, I was expecting to, I forgot in my head how many things I needed to show off for going through Water Dragon Isle and Homeworld. Forgot about I didn't forget about the scene. I knew the scene was the one thing I was going to show off, but it just all the notes in my head weren't going together. But now that we've taken care of all of that, that's what happens on the Do Not Save Kid path before going to Mount Pyre. Once we get into Mount Pyre, everything pretty much plays out as I've shown it, depending on path. We're not going to fight a Dragoon because we got the Ice Breath and did all that. Kid's not going to run up, but we're going to have Kid with us. And I am going to do all the stealing and all the element trapping that I did. I'm also going to be bringing both Lena and Kid along for that particular area because they're both really good at getting us through there. We can steal, which we're going to need to do. We can trap some elements. We can cast Frog Prince to get around 20 or so of the shiny dews as we go through the next two areas. And at the start of the next episode, for real this time, we are going to be starting up after all of the events that have taken place over the last few episodes. And we're going to wake up in that strange new world as Lynx. What the hell happened? That's all for this one. See you guys next time.